This was Paris in the 1600s. Forget the Eiffel Tower and the elegant cafes of Montmartre. You are in Paris, but you cannot breathe because of the smell of sulfur and mud. The streets are so narrow you can barely see the sky, and the Seine is an open-air dump. Suddenly, Louis XIV's carriage passes by, splashing the crowd. Welcome to the 17th century, the most populous, dirty, and fascinating city in Europe. In Historia Reconstruida, we travel through the eras that defined the world and give them a visual identity. Let us begin with this journey to the past. If you walked through Paris in the 17th century, the first thing you would notice would not be the romantic image we associate with the city today, but a capital breathing tension in every corner. It is not just a big city. It is a living, dense, unpredictable organism. You're in the heart of the Kingdom of France, under monarchs like Henry IV, Louis XIII, and later Louis XIV. But this power does not feel clean or orderly. It feels heavy, it feels close, and in many cases, it feels dangerous. In front of you flows the Seine, slow but steady, as if carrying centuries of history in its waters. It divides the city into two distinct worlds, the noisy commercial right bank and the more intellectual, more religious left bank. In the middle, the Ile de la Cité holds the heart of Paris. There stands Notre-Dame, imposing, silent, watching everything. Its towers do not just dominate the landscape, they dominate life. Because here, religion is not an option. It is structure, it is control, it is routine. But do not get too distracted by its beauty, because when you look down, Paris changes. The ground beneath your feet is not just dirty, it is alive. Every step stirs up a mixture of mud, organic waste, excrement, and stagnant water. There is no modern sewer system. Everything the city discards remains. The smell never goes away. It clings to clothes, to skin, to the air. And in that environment, disease is not a distant possibility. It is a constant presence. Here, a minor infection can decide your fate. You cross a bridge, and the movement is incessant. Some are covered with houses and shops so narrow they barely let in light. Others, like the Pont Neuf, are more open to space but not to silence. Vendors, beggars, street performers, merchants, all compete for attention. Everyone is talking, everyone needs something, and you are just passing through. As you venture into the streets, the space compresses. Paris is not designed to be comfortable. The streets are narrow, irregular, twisted as if they had grown uncontrolled. The buildings lean forward, almost touching at the top. Light barely enters. Even at noon, there are areas where the day seems dimmed. And then it happens. A scream, a fire. On a narrow street, a single spark is enough. The houses, many made of wood, burn quickly. The fire spreads before anyone can react. There are no organized emergency systems. Only buckets of water, desperate hands, and luck. Smoke invades the air. People run. Some manage to escape. Others do not. Paris does not forgive mistakes. You keep walking and reach the right bank, where chaos takes economic form. Markets like Les Halles are full of life, but also tension. Fresh meat, fish, bread, vegetables, everything is sold in an atmosphere of constant noise. Voices shouting prices, hands exchanging coins, arguments that can escalate quickly. Here you do not just buy food, you negotiate survival. Nearby, the workshops never rest. Hammers strike metal, saws cut wood, furnaces burn without pause. The guilds control who works, how, and how much. It is not just economics, it is hierarchy, it is identity. If you do not belong, you do not exist. And in the middle of all this, the people. Paris exceeds 400,000 inhabitants by the end of the century. But it is not a uniform crowd, it is a pyramid. At the top, the nobility, elegant, protected, distant. Many no longer live here permanently, especially under Louis XIV, who moves the court to Versailles. But their presence is felt, because as you walk through mud, noise, and disease, remember this. All this chaos supports the absolute power of Louis XIV, a king who rules from luxury, surrounded by gold, perfect gardens, and illuminated halls, while his capital survives amid filth, overcrowding, and danger. That contrast changes everything. A carriage passes by you, fast, imposing. On the side of the road, a beggar watches, thin, still, invisible, two worlds separated by just a few steps, but completely different. Beneath the nobility are the bourgeoisie, merchants, lawyers, officials. They are the engine of the city. Then, the workers, artisans, servants, apprentices. And at the base, the forgotten, those living on the edge, those you do not know if you will see again tomorrow. Because here, not everyone you see will make it to winter. You cross to the left bank and the atmosphere changes. The chaos does not disappear, but it transforms. Here, thought dominates. The University of Paris attracts students from all over Europe. Latin is spoken in the streets. Discussions about theology, philosophy, law, But even here, the church is present in everything. It is not just faith, it is power. The bells mark the rhythm of the day. Churches are not just places of prayer, they are centers of social control. Although the Edict of Nantes allowed some religious tolerance, tension remains latent. Not everyone believes the same thing. And in this era, that can be dangerous. You return to the center and the city does not stop. Animals cross the streets. Children play in the mud. Women carry water from public fountains. Men work without pause. Life begins at dawn and ends when darkness falls. And when it falls, Paris changes again. There is no efficient public lighting. The night is not safe. Shadows dominate. The silence is not complete, but it is unsettling. Quick footsteps, whispers, doors closing. If you have no reason to be outside, you should not be. In the distance, near the river, something moves. Rats, many, too many. They feed on what the city leaves behind. They slip through streets, houses, warehouses. They are part of the ecosystem, part of the problem, part of the silent fear no one mentions, but everyone knows. The water is not safe either. The Seine, although vital, is polluted. Public fountains help, but they are not enough for everyone. Diseases spread quickly. There are no clear solutions, only resistance. And yet, Paris does not stop, because it is also a city that creates. Theater grows, ideas circulate. Writers, thinkers, and artists begin to transform the culture. Figures like Molière fill spaces with stories that reflect society, that criticize it, that expose it. Paris is not just survival, it is evolution. But never forget where you really are. As you walk these streets, through mud, smoke, noise, and life, you understand something not seen on maps or in books. This city was not built to be perfect, it was built to endure. Every crooked building, every narrow street, every tired face is part of a huge machine that keeps moving forward, even when it seems to be crumbling. And there lies the true impact. Because this Paris, dirty, dangerous, unequal, is the same one that, over time, will transform into one of the most influential cities in the world. But at this moment, it is not beauty that defines Paris, it is survival. But that is where our journey to the past ends. Tell me, what impressed you most about the Paris of the past? Leave it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this immersion in time, hit like, subscribe to Historia Reconstruida so you do not miss any journey, and click on this video if you want to keep discovering the best kept secrets of our past.